Welcome back to another rebuild. I'm Madden 23, and today it is of the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that's more of a reload than a rebuild, and they did a pretty good job reloading, considering, a lot of people thought this is a team that is going to just fall apart, too many players to pay. Oh, look, it's Jalen Hurts, he's already getting paid, that's a GG. I was kind of one of them, and they technically really didn't lose anyone. I will say there's probably thoughts that, for the money that, Gardner Johnson and the money that TJ Edwards ended up signing for, you're like, why couldn't we have kept one of them at least if you're Philadelphia? But at the end of the day, they still ended up with a pretty damn good roster. Their trenches, which is obviously what has really put them on the map as of late, is still intact for the most part, and I think that is a big reason for their success, and they've done what they could to keep that going. Obviously, the interior of the line, we'll see what Cam Jurgens, Steen. I feel like we're supposed to have a different left guard. Am I wrong? Yeah, why the hell is Landon Dickerson not on the team? I was about to say, this line actually doesn't look that good. I was like, there's something off here, and, yeah, there it is. Okay, so, well, we figured out the issue. So, yeah, when you put Landon Dickerson in that lineup, the offensive line does not look nearly as bad. It's an offensive line that is still really, really good. One of the top 5, top 10 units in the league. Obviously, they lost to Amalu, but Cam Jurgens has been learning behind Jason Kelce for a while, who probably does project to be the center of the future, but not as of right now. So him and Steen will probably fight for that right guard spot. And honestly, at this point, probably just going to give Steen the starting job. Tight ends, obviously solid. Receivers, top 10 duo in the league. Devontae Smith, one of the best wide receiver twos in the league, if you want to call him that. A.J. Brown just killed it this season. I mean, he's out of nowhere. Running back, Miles Sanders is pretty good, obviously. Injury concerns in general, especially with the new guys they have, but you just can't pay Miles Sanders if you're the Eagles, and they obviously smartly did not. Running back committee can easily get it done. It's just, once again, the injury concerns of this group. Jalen Hurts got the big contract, totally deserved it, had a great Super Bowl. That fumble sucked, but it happens. We've seen worse, and he actually responded pretty well to it, considering for how young of a player he is. And just in general, this is not an offense you worry about. I mean, this is an offense that maybe in rebuild mode here, center is a question mark that you have to fill, right guard potentially, and maybe running back, but everything else is perfect, even in Madden realm. Forget, thinking about real life. And then defense, as much as Fletcher Cox is that guy, and Jordan Davis with the stamina/injury concerns, as far as a rebuild goes, we have to start these two, right? Jalen Carter, a generational type talent, and the real only issues are the off-the-field stuff on the field, even though technically you can argue that the off-the-field stuff kind of influenced the him dropping a little bit, looking lazy, if you will, but I mean, I think he'll be fine, and if he is, he clearly is going to shine early, and I mean, we have to start the two youngest superstars. Can argue Jalen Carter to be an X factor even. Hassan Reddick, another one of those really good contracts that the Eagles have signed so many of lately. And Josh Sweat, super underrated, and Slay came back. I know he's on the older side. James Bradbury's underrated, and the only real issue on this team, because of losing Kaiser White and TJ Edwards, these linebackers definitely a little worrisome. Nakobe Dean, a little bit of injury concerns in general. Is he ready? Morrow, I mean, you definitely would like better linebackers and safeties, but I will say Reed Blankenship, he showed a little bit of promise, and once again, they do have a bunch of different names, so it could be worse. Definitely could be worse. No team is really perfect. The Eagles are about as close to that as it could be at last season, and sure, they maybe lost a few players, but they really didn't, drop off, if you will. They've just been so good at roster building. I remember when, kind of the Wentz era, if you will, was kind of falling off and the team fell off. They were at that time when Wentz was healthy-ish. Obviously Nick Foles had to take over, win the Super Bowl, whatever. They were considered the best roster in the league, top to bottom. They fell off slightly for a little bit, and then they're back to being basically the best roster top to bottom again. They're just so good at team and roster building, and this is a team that obviously projects to do pretty well for itself in real life. In Madden, though, I don't know. We'll see, because obviously there are some aging names, and we'll have to work with that. Obviously, Nolan Smith. Take a look at some of these ratings. This was, I think it's Vic from the roster thing, download thing, if you will. Looks pretty good. Gave him star. I think that's pretty fair. Gave Jalen Carter, obviously, superstar, and I think I just left everyone else base ratings, like Steen. I didn't change the dev or anything like that. Jalen Carter already showed, I'm pretty sure. But, obviously a lot of potential here with this draft class. It was a good one. Everyone was probably like, we can't let them keep getting away with this when they got Jalen Carter. So it's a sick team. Like I said, the big things, the fronts, both fronts, the trenches intact for the most part, and bread and butter Philadelphia. We'll see what happens again this year. Almost won the Super Bowl. A lot of people pretty much had them as a lock. The Chiefs kind of stole that one away. Can they get it back? Let's find out. Also, one more thing. I wanted to pull out the debate. I think this is an ultimate debate, and it's Philadelphia Eagles related. Does Lane Johnson false start? Does he false start? That's the good one. That is the question. Does he false start? This is a good one in my opinion. I can't tell because it's so I wouldn't even call it egregious, but it's just such a sudden big leap of a move when he drops back very quickly at the line. I just think that you see all of these quick steps from the tackles in the NFL, specifically left tackle in fairness, false starts if you really want to call them that. And you see it all the time, and people, they notice it, but everyone's like, oh, well, I mean, that's just kind of how the way the game goes. But, the way when Lane Johnson does it, because it's such an athletic feat, if you will, it's like, oh, he's clearly offside, or not offside, but false starting. It's like, I don't know. I really don't know. I can't tell. Like, my brain wants me to say, I think he's offside. Or false starting, but I don't know. I see so many different NFL experts say that he's not. He's just athletic. He's just doing, he's just crazy, and it's just like it just seems like it's clearly false start. But I guess not. I mean, that would be the craziest advantage in NFL history if no ref ever called blatant false start ever against someone that looks like they're doing it. So I just have to assume that he's not. Maybe sometimes he is, but he is an athletic goon, so it is what it is. Regardless if he is or not, he's insane anyways, but still, that's my question, if you will. You have 62 mil, and a Jason Kelce that doesn't ever retire. He will never retire. He has decided he is playing football for the rest of his life, which is why we're going to sign him, or try to. Hopefully, I obviously signed him, but hopefully he stays around. Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, however, Madden terms, not going to work out. Just not going to work out. They're going to be basically useless. Terrell Edmonds, we need safety, and he's, at least a viable one. A 5-year 20 is great money in Madden, even if he ended up being a backup. Rashad Penny, we'll see what kind of use we get out of him. Greedy Williams is an interesting contract, but I'd rather just go with brand new. And Landon Dickerson should not be needing a contract yet. I think that's more of because we had to sign him for free agency because for some reason he was in there type of deal. And I have another type of deal. If you enjoy the video, you enjoy the rebuilds, you're enjoying it so far, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really do appreciate you. That's just the deal. It's a pretty bad one, to be honest, but I would take it. Here we go to the playoffs, which I'll tell you, the Eagles are not going to be in it. EA has done just a fantastic job with Madden 23. It is just a fantastic game, obviously. I don't know what the hell this is. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really not sure how this roster goes 5-12 with the base ratings or the base playbooks. We recently actually did a rebuild. I can't remember which one it was, where I ran the Eagles playbooks with a lesser team than this, and the team was great every single time. I'm not really sure what this is about, but clearly it needs to change. I've heard Dallas is a very good balanced playbook. We'll say that this team doesn't really run we don't really need to have a running back do that well, but I'm going to allow that, and I think they run vertical zone, so we're going to just rock that and just hope for the best, because we went 5-12 with this roster. I don't understand. I just don't get it. Honestly, how did I do as many rebuilds as I did this year without losing my mind? I really don't know. That is the biggest miracle of them all. Looking at the numbers, DeAndre Swift was terrible. 4 1,000-yard receivers, which is pretty cool. It's something, but that really doesn't do anything for me. We were 5-12. I don't think you understand how bad we were. We were 5-12. There was almost no good aspect for this team. Any award wins? That's literally all we have potentially, and the answer is no. We don't have any award wins at all. I mean, just to put it to perspective, Brock Purdy, the best quarterback in the NFC. Now, I will say, the NFC, bit of a hit in quarterback talent, but number one. Okay, sure. I mean, fair enough to the Niners. They got their best NFC quarterback and a Super Bowl win. It's a great day to be a Niners fan, apparently. Dallas Goedert goes up in Dev. Devontae Smith does not, but that's all right because we just wanted something to be positive. And Dallas Goedert, who is now 28, going to Superstar, is that positivity. Question is, though, with this team, who can you afford to keep long-term? I do not know. Jalen Carter went up to an X Factor. No dev up for Edmonds, which is a mad L. Dean apparently did go up in dev, but that was basically it. Jalen Carter going to X Factor is somewhat unexpected, but more importantly, just not necessarily needed. He's a superstar dev player, and you don't really need to go up any higher than that, especially when you're a rookie that did that. 80 overall didn't really go up too much. You probably need to bump the sliders a little bit. Nakobe Dean, like we said, went up to star development trait, which is pretty sweet. He's literally the only long-term non-pass rusher, off-ball, linebacker we have. So safety's a thought. Linebacker obviously is a thought, and I suppose more O-line wouldn't hurt. Kelsey is apparently still here, but I don't know if we're actually to that point yet. He might actually still have a chance to retire, which would suck, but would not surprise me either. And he's still here. Brandon Graham does retire. Fletcher Cox is probably not too far behind with that overall dropping, but Jason Kelsey, apparently a 90 overall, stayed another season at 35, technically 36 in real life. That's great news. Right guard is a thought of ours, like I said. Center for the future. Could be very soon in the future. Running back might be our highest position that we try to go for, though, for some reason, Swift just sucks in Sim. It doesn't matter that it was kind of the scheme's fault. No matter what scheme I've tried to use DeAndre Swift in, he just sucks in Sim. I don't know why EA hates him, but they just do. Fletcher Cox is still pretty good overall, but once again, that's more of a depth player. Greedy Williams, really the only thing I need to do at this point now is to get draft picks that we're actually owed. I think we're owed 2 fifth-round picks, if I'm not mistaken. So for free agency, Tony Pollard is an interesting name, especially since we're going to be giving Dallas's playbook a go. Adrian Amos, these are too expensive a contract. Safety is a massive need for us, one of the biggest needs, but this is a team that needs to save as much money as possible, and I just don't know if we're going to be able to pull off a move like that. So it appears that we will be looking mainly through the draft. It does suck that the contracts aren't really realistic. I offered a 3-year 15 to Damian Harris, and it's literally red bar interest, which is just really bad. Trying to get Devin Bush on a decently cheap deal, and we do get him a 4-year 18, which is massive for this team, the type of contracts that they're used to signing, and obviously helps us not have to fill every single position of need. And we are still sticking with the same Eagles scheme, so we will probably still have Hassan Reddick technically playing the outside linebacker spot, but being one of the rush edge rushers. The rush linebacker. I don't even know what you want to call it. All right, pick 3 for the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's their own pick. And then on top of it, the Lions with pick 1. Just the most unrealistic stuff you could ever ask for. Let's see who we have. I'm pretty sure I had a cornerback, which is one of the bigger needs going forward. Maybe not this moment, but this cornerback does look pretty good. Round 1, I'd be willing to move down to 10. There's a good chance he would be gone, but I think we should get better value considering we don't technically need any of the positions that are up here just yet, and we could add a decent bit of value if we drop back to, like I said, 10. 12 is okay. Green Bay would be really giving us a package here. A second-round pick next year from Tampa for 7. I'm going to do. Pick 3 is very high, and it's good comp, I suppose. It's a next year second round after all, and they take Donnell, who apparently was decent. Did we lose our corner, though, is the question. Oh, my Lord. And we didn't. He is here. And with that being said, we will be taking Mr. Cole Shepard, who's pretty good. His athleticism solid outside of acceleration, but everything else looks amazing, and his key ratings are solid as well. So let's grab him. Hidden development trait, very athletic. That change direction is absurd. And 90 excel, I wouldn't even call that solid. I would say that's at least good, right? Solid, when I think of solid for athleticism, I think 86, 87. And obviously he was better than that. We trade 35 this, 67 this, and 99 this for 19, in which I think I'm going to be taking a safety. I'm pretty sure he was halfway athletic. His key ratings weren't great, but they were good enough. and I think that is going to be the route I go here. A hit power, C zone coverage, fast enough. Connor Sanders, normal development trade. It was a bit of a risk, I will admit, but that was our biggest glaring need. Linebacker is as well, in fairness, but there are some options we're probably going to get by trading down from pick 9. Yeah, not a good pick. Hopefully he's a decent overall, but I would imagine unless he's like a really, really, really bad overall, he will just be the starter by default because he has the most potential. And we were kind of tinkering with Green Bay before with a trade. They are giving us the best trade we have here. I wanted a late second to probably take one of the linebackers, and we ended up getting a 3rd and a 7th. I don't think either were this year, but in general, got those picks. O-line wouldn't hurt. We could move some of the stuff from next year to this year, which we might for one lineman. I would like to get one lineman at least. This left guard could be that lineman, actually. And then linebacker Cole Skinner is a little raw, but he would be interesting to grab. I think, though, that Caleb Nelson guy he's shown enough for me to take him. Pretty strong, pretty athletic, and 21 years old. In development trade, we'll take it. For the second round next year, and 138 this for 69. It's a guaranteed second round pick. I probably could have done just straight up second round pick, but with this pick, I believe we will be taking that linebacker, which would kind of finish our linebacking group. It's a weird unit because we do have a Hassan Reddick who's playing linebacker, but he's more of a pass rusher. It's weird. We could use a guard. Howie Andrews looks decent as a tight end. I'm actually starting to think maybe I don't go for this linebacker. He's also pretty raw. He's obviously insanely athletic, but I actually think I might be going with this left guard instead. Demarius Hancock, 22 years old, 6'5". That's my choice. And he's hitting. Win. Trade 131 this and a 6th round next year for 97. We're making a lot more trade-ups than we normally would, but I think this is what teams do when they are, even though we were the 3rd pick overall for whatever reason, close. And with this trade, we're going to go with Howie Andrews, the 6'6", 21-year-old athletic tight end. This guy looks like a gem, if I say so myself, and he is very athletic, but he is normal development trade. And then in the 5th round, if that running back who's UDFA is there, I might grab him. He has potential. And he's there, athletic with an A-truck and stiff arm, Justin Davis. Another normal, but another high potential athlete. And we have no fullbacks on the roster, but I will say all these fullbacks do look pretty bad. And ironically enough, I say that, and the one that he's hidden. It has been so long since we've had a hidden fullback. I mean, I drafted so many solid players at like run block and pass block on their like base rating, and they're never hidden. And this guy who looked really rough, but he was the only halfway decent fullback. He had a C run block. Everyone else was just terrible. Is the guy. Of course he's the guy. Why wouldn't he be? Briscoe, whatever. It's just like late 7th round pick. You know, who cares? Yeah, some would say that was not a bad draft. We'll obviously have to take a look at these overall, specifically that safety. 73 overall. Corner 75, 74 for the guard, 72 for the other guard, 74 for the other tight end, 72 for the running back. And ironically enough, the guy I want to look at the most is the 69 overall fullback. Yeah, he really isn't great, but he is pretty athletic, and he's interesting. He's more of a running back than anything, but let's take a look at what that dev is. Superstar dev fullback, huh? I mean, that's interesting. I must put him at 50 for some reason. At 49, I was like, I'm going to round it up. But yeah, let's take a look at these DBs. Obviously, the safety is not great because he's normal dev. He's not a great overall either, but all it takes is one breakout, right? That's all it takes. Shepard, future starting cornerback for the team, and he's superstar as well. Fullback and the freaking corner. Superstars. Connor Sanders is going to be our free safety. 73 zone, which is okay, but yeah, that trade up was probably a little bit of a reach, but it is what it is. He's the future for now, and then everyone else, you know, especially the offensive linemen, they're all backups. Well, I guess one of the linemen will start. We'll probably go with whoever the hires overall is, which I think was the center type, if you will. He's 6'3", 317. He's going to be playing right guard for us. See what that dev is, since we're going to have to change him to right guard anyways. See if we land ourselves another superstar or not. We did not. And for good measure, who I will be moving to right guard, because that right guard that we just moved, the 6'3" guy would probably be a better center in the future. Star dev there as well. But a lot of right guards now on the team, but it was a good draft, and I don't know if we actually saved anything for next year. I think we're pretty much back to neutral. All right, Season 2 team, we are going to be starting a very low overall running back, only because, like I said, DeAndre Swift and Sim is just not him. And this Davis guy does have a lot of potential. He's a pretty young player, 22 years old, with 84 trucking, 86 stiff arm, 91 speed, 91 excel. Looks great, and maybe we can actually develop our very own running back for once. Normally we only go with known names for the most part, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. It should be Nelson at right guard, and things got messed up. We'll fix that, obviously. And then looking at defense, obviously we have more potential. The linebackers look like they could be the guys for the future. D-line looks the same. Corners, don't know too much about Slay, but Shepard is the cornerback of the future. Safeties, we'll see. Hopefully we can get a dev up. But we do have a nice couple of cheap contracts and some rookies that are starting, so should be able to live with this team financially. It's just, will they develop? I don't know. I have no idea what EA's problem is, but we are broke as hell. We are way more broke than I thought. I'm not really sure where the money went. It's probably just, contracts bumping up, but 4.2 mil only, apparently. And we have to try to find a way to pay Quez, which I think we can live with losing. Swift, we can live with losing. Dickerson, I would love to keep, but I just don't know if we can. And then Kelsey, hopefully he just retires, because otherwise I'm going to feel really bad about just not being able to afford him. But if there's any chance for us to get these guys back, it's going to have to be after the season is over, because like I said, we got no money. Better than last season, but still, for this team's record, what a joke. Missed the playoffs again, 9-8. Went with the Cowboys playbook for a while, and I was like, screw this, clearly not working. Went with the Chiefs, and, we did better win-loss-wise. Running game, doesn't matter who the running back is, they just suck. They have to be a really high overall, otherwise they just don't do well in the game, which is just awesome. Love that coding. Very awesome. Hassan Reddick killed it, though. That's a superstar dev. Nolan Smith was great. Could go to superstar. Sweat was decent, and then the DTs weren't great, but the defensive scheme seems to be all right. I don't know about the actual, stats, yards-wise, points allowed, but as far as, sacks, picks, stuff like that, not bad. Offense, 26th, despite having a great quarterback, 2 great wide receivers, a great tight end, and a pretty solid O-line. Numbers don't look great either, I guess. I don't know. Purdy's the MVP of the league. I don't know what the hell is happening here, but us winning is not a part of it, and we got ourselves a couple of award wins on defense, which is pretty cool. Some dev-ups, to be certain. The Bengals versus the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, the winner being the Bengals. Let's take a look if we had any dev-ups. We should have had at least 2, maybe more. Offense did not happen. Running back, I guess he's the starter again. We're probably going to have to look for another running back in the draft. But defensively, Hassan Reddick's a superstar, and Bradbury is a superstar, but it really doesn't matter. We're going to try to do what we can to, save some money, because we desperately need to. Don't think we're going to be able to keep Landon Dickerson, but in general, we need to save more money. We're broke as hell, and guys like Hassan Reddick need to be paid, so super fun. The team is only going to get worse from here, yet this 88 overall plus roster wasn't even good enough to make the playoffs in the first 2 seasons. We also, for some reason, have a ton of money, but I was about to say, gotta love that Jason Kelsey's still here, but we can afford him, so 1 year, 11.6 he takes. And then Landon Dickerson, this isn't actually bad money. Do we do a 4-year 56? He's happy to resign, so fair enough. 30 mil left. Swift, useless. Watkins, probably not worth. Let's see how he actually played, because it might have been another season where he put up over 1,000, but I don't remember that being the case in this one. Yeah, way, way, way down of a drop, but same yards per catch, just less volume, obviously, but either way, still not worth keeping. Need a new punter. Who cares? It's not hard to get. I guess Davion Taylor went up in dev, but he's too low of an overall to develop. And then who thinks he's the fastest player in the league is needing a contract, which he very well could be, because he's not really a football player. He's more of a track star, if you will. But yeah, I don't know what the contract situation is like, but I am looking to try to get rid of some of these expensive names if there is a possibility of it, since, to be honest, the names we have right now aren't really getting the job done anyways, but as far as it goes, as far as it looks, other than maybe Maddox, I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe look for some real-life contracts like Maddox and Bradbury, see if their real-life dead hits are less than that. Maybe able to replace both of them and save some money. It would suck to lose 2 starting caliber corners, but Keely Ringo hasn't even gotten a chance yet. I know he's super raw in real life, but it's kind of the point of him sitting back 2 years now. Could be a solid number 3 with that speed. And he would have a dead cap of 0, or dead hit, because he would be a free agent. It's the thing, I don't like to play it this close to the books, but, a lot of these really good teams in real life do play it like that. So we do have to adjust their bonuses because, in real life, there's a good chance that that's kind of how they save themselves, is by losing these names that are going to need contracts. And James Bradbury is actually even more expensive than this, and he did just have a bunch of picks, so why not keep it the way it's been working? Shepard at number 2 with Bradbury at number 3, putting up a bunch of interceptions. Safety's still a problem. Linebacker, kind of a problem, but I think we can live with what we got, even though Nakobe Dean did not have a great year. O-line, I suppose, could be helpful. Wide receiver, I really think, other than a running back, there's not much we can do to really improve this team more than it needs to be for a playoff berth. I really don't know how this isn't a playoff team. Like, this just, realistically, it is a playoff team, and EA is just disagreeing with us. Swift is in there, and he's so tempting to grab back, but he just wasn't good for us anyways. I'm not really sure what we do here. We draft really high running back, I guess. Hope there's like some generational. We've seen a lot in the past, but I don't remember even drafting one. But yeah, this has not gone really well for us early on, and like I said, outside of running back, I'm not really sure what we do to improve the team. All right, we got Julian Love on a 3-year, $19 million deal. He's a superstar in this realm, and he has 84 zone coverage, which is A-okay in my book. Safety's become a bit of a problem for us to get, and that is not that bad of money, about $6.5 mil per year for a 26-year-old superstar. I can live with that. I hope. I actually don't know if I can live with that, especially since we're replacing a pick 19 overall safety. But that safety just didn't really do much in his rookie year, and you can determine a lot of things in franchise based on how that first year goes. Sanders, not a great one. Pick 15 overall. This is an interesting spot to be selecting. We have pick 4 in the second round as well. What was that? We had a trade for a second-round pick, but I don't remember if we traded that. I don't even know. But long story short, we have a couple of players here. Guard, maybe. Right tackle, maybe. Right end, very highly probable. But I've also been looking at this edge rusher, Boone. Not the most athletic, but does look very solid with his finesse move, or his power move anyways. Finesse A to C, though, could also be good at that. A hit power, A pursuit. Looks very promising. I did scout him further, but I don't know why it didn't work. But I think this would be the starting edge down the line. Sweat needs a contract. Reddick needs a contract, I believe, and I doubt we can afford both. So Denario Boone, his team loves their edge depth, and that's what we're going to have here. Thankfully, hitting a lot of these big 6'6" dudes have been normal for me, but that works really well. And we could have maybe made a trade up, but you know what? I don't really want to spend any draft picks. Pick 4 overall. Should be somebody here. Let's take a look if that it. What? How did that even happen? Maybe I actually clicked. No, how did that happen? I swear I clicked make your select. I don't know. Who cares? But let's take a look if there is anyone. The running back is there. He's not a power back type. He's more of a speedster. Maybe. Oh, Robertson is there, actually. The cornerback who I thought was going to be decent, but he ended up with a D man coverage. Jake Cunningham is interesting. Could replace Edmonds, but we don't really need that position that much. I think Robertson is the clear-cut pick here. He is pretty damn strong. He is very athletic. Could play outside, inside. Probably looks to be more of a DT type. At this point, I'm just taking good talent. Don't know where the hell I'm going to play him, though. And he is normal, but those key ratings with the athleticism, those traits, they're pretty good. And at 15, if the safety's there, I might take him. Like I said, I really don't know what the hell I can do to fix this team. I really don't, other than running back. And like I said, the running backs I have that are the best are Bo and Barry. And Bo he's fast, but I don't know much about his other ratings. They don't look great. So I would just be taking some random dude at this rate. And honestly, that Davis guy we have is great. He just didn't play it. And the safety is gone. We don't really need a guard that badly, but he does look good. So I'm going to take Brandon Banks here and then, I don't know, take running back later. Normal dev. And it could be a reach, but Glenn Berry is going to be the choice here. We need as many running backs as we can get. Okay speed, good trucking back. Welcome to the team. Another normal dev. I don't know what I can do here. Running back it's been a problem for us to get, and they've all played like crap. We need a new slot wide receiver. So Mr. Chad Harrison, decently fast. Not that fast, but has the great speed. Obviously, I looked at him because he was small. You would assume he's fast. Please be good. Normal dev, 95, 94 speed, 92 excel. I mean, we could live with it. All right, so that other wide receiver wasn't very good. I traded down 2 times to get stuff for next year, and the next choice would be Ron Thomas, who looks even better than the previous guy, but he was UDFA, so I didn't, prioritize him at first. And insanely fast, but normal dev. Got a couple of 5th, 6th, and 7th for next year with a bunch of trade downs, and we're on our final pick here late in the 7th. Going to be taking Jacob Stout, who has a good leg and okay accuracy. He is normal development trait with 96 kick power. Elliott was not great. Might need a contract. If he does, he is gone. He might even be gone even if he doesn't need a contract. He has played pretty badly, at least his latest season. And our newest punter is Bajorquez on a 3-year 6, which is super nice. Is what the overalls look like. Not bad, obviously, by any means, but, Boone was kind of our only, future prospect, and even he doesn't have a 83 power move. Even he doesn't really have a spot right now. There's some, there's a little bit of generationalism to him. I don't know. He doesn't have, the athleticism, but outside of that speed, if that was 88 speed plus, I would say this is a generational, but because of that, I don't think he will be. Although, very close, too, with the superstar dev. He is solid. Obviously, that overall isn't crazy great either. Future-wise, probably right end, unless he literally takes Hassan Reddick's spot with that actual role. And then Robertson, more of a DT type, but this is kind of a waste. I'm going to just keep him at DN so he can still play DT on the roster. But as far as, his actual position, it's not going to be listed at that. And everyone else, they're all normal devs, so who cares? I mean, this guy's going to be another cut and copy, copy and paste running back, instead of 85 trucking, he has 85 stiff arms, slower than our other guy, and I think we're just going to have a trash running back no matter what. What the hell? Lane Johnson retired? Who the hell actually said he's allowed to do that? He retired before Kelsey? Wait, what? Bruh. He ain't even that old, is he? How old was he when he retired? Can I still look at that, I wonder? Well, there the hell he is, 11 years in the league, retired. And here we are with Season 3 team. I really wish we would have done better at running back, but other than actually trading for one, which maybe I think about if we struggle early on, there's not much I could do. We lose the right tackle, but we have these youngster backups, in place, so Hancock is the new right tackle because of that star dev. Every other player, the wide receivers are great, quarterback's great. D-line, I really wish the two DTs would actually develop a little bit faster, but outside of that, I can't really complain, and I'm really curious to see what this contract situation is going to be like. But I was kind of thinking, I was like, do we make this a quick rebuild? We win Super Bowl year 2 or 3 and call it a rebuild? Do I go for a dynasty? And nope, we'll be lucky to get 1 win in the 5-season limit that we allow ourselves. I honestly don't know. I really don't know what's wrong with this crap game. I really don't. We're still underperforming hard, even though we have one of the best teams in the league. I don't get it. I really don't. It makes no damn sense, and I cannot wait until we're done with this game. I really can't. Hassan Reddick, he's pretty good. He's played pretty well. 4-year 84, glad to sign. We do have the replacement for Sweat ready. Another $20 million per year deal. It's just like we have the money. We have a lot of talent here. Do I really want to let these guys go, even if I have replacements? Not really. Kelsey's another one of those end of the season type of deals. Do I pay Josh Sweat, even though, I guess? I don't know, dude. 3-year 63, why not? Why not? 25 mil. Probably losing Slay. Could use a corner. That's it. Justin Davis, even though the season's crap and the game is even worse, is a star development trade player with 20k XP. What a video game! We love it! 5-12. I'm loving this game. Madden is so good. It's such a damn good game. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. It's just a crap game. I'm so glad that we're almost done with this, but look at the top quarterbacks: Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, and Jacoby Brissett. Let's go. Let's do it, dude. I love this game. Awesome. Super fun stuff. I don't know. I guess we're going to change the defensive scheme too, because the worst performance I've ever seen in the history of this game, considering the overall we have. We're a 91 overall. Creator of this game must be a Commanders, Cowboys, or Giants fan. They have to be. They have to be. The Niners lose the Super Bowl this time to the Bengals. Bengals have been competing quite a bit. They get a Super Bowl win. Try to go for Joe Mixon around week 6, and it was going to cost us at least a first, second, and third, which I was like, A, that's not realistic for real life, and B, that's a little costly for my liking. But I think we will have to go crazy for a running back, because I don't know if that's the difference, but it feels like a big difference in the reason why we just suck. So I think we have to go for a big running back, even though we just got a star dev running back. We just don't have the time. This team is just constantly underperforming. 5-12 twice out of 3 years. Like, who coded this crap? It's so bad. I'm just hoping there's a running back here in free agency, because we absolutely need to buy into this player, whoever it is, and sadly there is not one. We need to go for like a proven talent that is just him, simply put, because the best option other than that is Swift, and we've already had him before, and he was pretty bad. So I'm not really sure what we would be getting out of Swift. He started for some team, 4.1 yards per carry, 13 touchdowns. I mean, look, this is the season he had for us behind the line we have. 3.3 yards per carry. Bro. We're going to have to move to a traditional defense, though. Like, I don't think there's any other option. I know Nolan Smith's been developed as a pass rusher, but I guess we move him back to linebacker. I don't know. I think that's our only real option here. Maybe look for a new linebacker anyways, and maybe trade off Nolan for like a high second, perhaps, because he did play pretty poorly in general as well. And normally I don't like to offer contracts that I think, real life, Greg Newsome, I don't think he'd be a free agent. I have no choice. I have to do whatever I can at this point, and if that's signing Greg Newsome, that's signing Greg Newsome, simply put. Safety wouldn't hurt, but it's not like the biggest need. Actually, strong safety might be. Siska's a pretty cheap contract as well, so I'm in full F-it mode at this point, so no matter how cheese it is, whatever it takes, I am going to be trying to make this a winner, because the Madden franchise definitely isn't. And oh my god, I can't even do this. Like, are you for real? It's literally full green. Holy, nothing wants to just be like chill at all today. I'm actually so freaking pissed. Like, I just don't even know what else to tell you. Oh my, 5th round next year. I'm just trying to get as much as I can at this point. But like I said, I think running back is the biggest need for this team right now. And if it takes a second this, second next, and a third next for, a 96 overall starting running back, so be it. It is what it is. He's a very good player. I would imagine he's at least got 2 more years on his contract, but in general, he's just a really good dual style guy as well. And I know they just won the Super Bowl, but there's been talks about him being not there in real life, so it is what it is. He's our running back. At this point, I don't care. We're going to be trading off Nolan Smith to the Vikings for Andrew Booth. A little bit of a loss in, what is that called? In overall, but it is a very big positional need of ours, so that'll be our number 2 corner now going forward, with Shepard as the number 1 spot guy. And I did actually offer on some players, but we didn't grab them, didn't we? I just freaking forgot. This is why you do your free agents first. I suppose either way I can just trade off Andrew Booth and we just pretend like it didn't happen. It's not the worst play in the world anyways, but got ourselves a new corner and safety would appear, and it is the case. Siska's our new strong safety. We got a bit younger, cheaper, kind of, but more importantly, we definitely improved the team. And screw it, new linebacker Patrick Queen. A lot of the guys that I wanted were just either too young or too old, and Queen at 27 is kind of fair. So we trade all that for Patrick Queen, the 84 overall, who will be our new, I suppose, right out. Because like I said, I think we're going to move to a base 4-3, something where where everyone's playing. And, clearly whatever we've got going on right now is just not working. So Queen is the new left out, with Hassan Reddick moving to an actual left end, right end role. Also, Nakobe Dean apparently is a superstar. I don't remember actually looking at our devs, our dev ups, potential ones, because I was just so mad. Like, I actually is just like getting triggered, dude, because it's just like, yeah, I like a challenge, but I like a challenge that makes sense. This isn't a challenge. The game is just challenged. And there's not really much you can do about it. I'm trying to work around it, and the game is just really not cooperating at all. Dev ups, like I said, we've seen Dean had a dev up. Devin Bush did not. It seems like the DTs didn't. Even like Josh Sweat didn't. But this is a sick squad that should be in the playoffs like every year. Also, Julian Love apparently an X Factor, 85 overall. Seemingly a good signing. 86 zone coverage on top of it. Morale's just really bringing these guys down. Steen for the Dolphins' 4th round pick. That's about all I can do there. And I think from here on out, it is draft time. Madden 23 now, Fortnite now, FIFA 23 now, Rocket League now. Pick 4 overall with this team. We, of course, do not have our own 2nd round pick, which we use to get a superstar running back. Quarterback's almost honestly an argument at this point, is Jalen Hurts has played really poorly, but at the end of the day, I mean, that just makes no sense. So even though that guy looks amazing, we are not going to be going for that position. I think I have a couple of 1-2s, but they're all like 1-2, like I said, not round 1s. And really, I actually only have 1. So I guess I trade down. Maybe I take the guard, but for the most part, it seems like, once again, we are going to be drafting the 2nd round range. Return with the Colts, grab a 1st round next year and a 3rd this year to move down to 23. Probably would be worth more than that in real life, but you know what? I don't care. I'm getting some decent value. Was that the guy we were actually looking at? Because whatever quarterback we were looking at was actually pretty solid, and I guess we could use at least a center. So if that right guard Porter's there, I might take him. I usually don't go that crazy with 1st round, with high linemen, but he isn't there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Going to be moving down to 33 to gain 65 and 129. Obviously, no 2nd round pick, trying to recoup as much as we can to, kind of make up for that. And we're going to trade down one more time, so I'm going to be moving down with the Browns, getting to 49 and gaining a 3rd next year, which would be the final draft if we do not win a Super Bowl on this season, which, I mean, making the playoffs at this point is a miracle on its own, apparently. And I really like the safety Jason Palmer, but we obviously just got Cisco, so I suppose corner would be the bigger need, kind of. This guy's an insane athlete. Von Logan is going to be the choice, and he is hidden. A little slower than I would have thought, but 95 speed, 94 excel, and all the change direction, jumping and stuff is amazing. Just not quite as fast. 4.24 with elite speed. I'm thinking 97 plus. Pick 1 in the 3rd. I mean, we could use linebacker, kind of. Dudley Stamper's still here as well. If you're going to go for a middle linebacker, you want to go for a middle linebacker because those outside linebackers have literally no coverage ratings at all. Stamper's kind of like the only guy there, so I think I'm going to take him. Dudley Stamper is going to be my choice here. Middle linebacker, 22 years old. Hidden development trait. Not going to start right away, but could start in the future, especially if we have to pay one of these linebackers soon enough. Once again, we are broke as hell. We paid a lot for these edge rushers when we already have backups that could start anytime. We just decided, you know what, we want the quote-unquote sure thing, because obviously these guys sure as hell aren't playing like that. Dallas Goedert's getting older. Harold looks amazing. But is that the route I want to go? Tight end for the future when we don't even know if they'll ever start. I don't know about all that now. I'm going to go, I think, with the right tackle, Trevor Parrish, though. It's not often that you see a tackle this good. Still here in the 3rd round, so that is who I'm going to take. Trevor Parrish, please be hidden. He is. That's a win. Not sure who plays center, who plays guard, whatever, but we have a full group of hiddens, and that's all I can ask for. The wide receiver, Hackett, is very fast. He's still there. Oh, the tight end's still there. I'm going to have to take him. Adonis Harold, big, decently fast. And just like our last guy, normal. Obviously, you could work with him in a user league, but not in a user league. That development is going to be slow and not something we probably deal with because he wouldn't even be a starter right now anyways. So backup level it is at this point. And then we did have that two linemen that look pretty good at least. I think the guarantee, though, would be Mr. Sherman here. So that's what we're going to take. Ben Sherman, maybe he's the center. Hidden development trait, has that chance. And then at pick 8, might take the other lineman, but also, I'm assuming they're even there, there's that other linebacker as well. Chris Johnson, can't go wrong with that name. That name's always pretty sick. What do we have, though? Is the linebacker still there? He is not, actually. He had a B in zone, so it was easy to find him. Nathan O'Shea, or Shea, anyways. Don't know where that name O'Shea came from. Another hidden development trait lineman, so Nailing the hidden development trade lineman at least, and even though that linebacker isn't as good as the other guy, if he's still there, I might just take him anyways because I made enough trade downs for the day anyways, and we could use the depth, I suppose. So Steve Ali with the 21 years of age, A tackle's amazing, pretty good speed. Excel is apparently marginal, but let's see what we're looking at. Hidden development trade. He was, in fact, not as good as, that 40 time and all that said, so do pay attention to that when you're scouting, although how much scouting's even left in this Madden, who knows? I'll probably be able to squeeze out another 55 rebuilds anyways, but 5th round pick in the first pick overall as well. O-line's still there. Definitely don't need them anymore, so I think I'm going to go with Hack and then look to trade down. 6 foot tall, fast, normal dev, but once again, another 97 speeder. How's that draft class looking? Let's see. 76 overall is probably the highest we've had in ages. Some pretty good players here, it seems. Logan, the 76 overall corner, number 3 at the moment. Very fast. Fits really well with the team. So, I like that we landed ourselves a bona fide starter. His dev is star development trait. Any other players that, we have some linemen, but I don't know if they really matter too much. They're all pretty basic players. Ali was a little bit of a higher overall, though. 74 overall. He's kind of special as well. I thought maybe the crazy hip power or something. I don't know, but I guess not. Well, we'll find out if any of these guys are superstar or not, but as of right now, the linemen were really the highlight of this one, if you will, and yeah, I don't know how many of them. This guy could even start a right tackle, because the right tackle we have right now, he's going to need a contract soon, and I don't really feel like paying for linemen. Oh, yeah, I really don't feel like paying for linemen that, barely started, really. That's basically the gist of it. What about Sherman? How many linemen do we land that were hidden? 3 of them? Sherman, definitely more raw than Parrish. Parrish looks really good, though, so probably going to be a starter for us. Not hidden development, or not higher than star for the center. And then Shea, hidden development trait, looks like a center, so we're probably going to line him up at center. Whether he actually starts or not is a different story. Star dev as well, but Parrish looks to be a starter, and one of these guys is playing center, I guess. That's really all that can be said about that, I guess. At this point, we looked at pretty much everyone, so why not look at the first middle linebacker we took, Mr. Stamper. Pretty raw, but pretty good zone coverage as well. Very athletic with that 91 speed. And his dev is star development trait, but still solid. All right, Season 4, EA is really just on something today, but this is what the team looks like. Obviously, the offensive line is, not as good as it used to be. We lost Jason Kelsey, and obviously Lane Johnson was a retirement guy. But in general, the team is great outside of that. Joe Mixon, not an X factor. Hopefully you can get to that, but the big name addition, if you will. Once again, linebacker / safety isn't the best, but it's definitely better than it started. And in general, we are one of the best teams in the league, yet 5-12. Really, yay. We're struggling again. Yay. Let's get some of these contracts done, though. Devontae Smith, a 4-year 82, which is, pretty fair with the market in general, especially as a star dev. Jordan Davis, a guy that I feel like you cannot let go, even though, in Sim they do let him go a lot. 10 mil per year over 5 isn't bad. Nakobe Dean is a super must-have. Out of all the players we've already looked at, just, since this re-signing period, he is the number 1 for sure. Linebacker is a little bit hard to get for us, and he is obviously very good money. Mailata, super awesome beast, tank, but not playing that well. And in general, a little expensive. Dallas Goedert, 30 years old at only superstar dev. He was X Factor, fair enough, but superstar, I don't know. 0 touchdowns past the midway point. Very good outside of that, though. Can I do like a 2-year instead? To the playoffs, terrible season, but maybe we slip into the playoffs in general. We do with a loss. Okay, 8-9 gets us the 6th seed. Wow, the NFC is some booty. It is some garbage. But we're in the playoffs. 8-9. I honestly don't understand, though. I'm actually gonna lose my freaking mind in this rebuild. I actually don't know what's going on. I really don't. But Jalen Hurts, pretty good season. Rushing better than we've had from anyone else. Devontae killed it. That contract definitely feels even better than before. New scheme, Dallas Goedert wasn't great. Slot receiver wasn't great. Blocking was decent. Defensively, let's take a look at these numbers. Reddick killed it. Carter's decent. Sweat was decent. Everyone else is pretty bad. Interceptions had a couple of guys with some numbers, but nothing crazy. Kicking was okay. Punting was okay. No touchdowns on special teams, but bruh, I actually I'm almost speechless at this point because I don't know what else I could actually say about it. And it's pissing me off that I don't have words that can comfort me in a time like this. It is insane, but it is just what I'm feeling. I don't know what else to tell you. And I keep repeating it, but I'm actually just flabbergasted. Is that the word? I guess it's mind-blowing. I don't know. I'm not a traditionally violent person. I'd never throw my controller or break anything, punch any walls, but I legitimately need something to absolutely demolish because I am losing my mind. Let's take a look at how this one goes, though. We're going to be against Seattle, who gets the 3-point lead. It's like we don't have the best team in the league when we do. It's like we aren't the best team in the league right now, which we are. It's almost as if we're the worst team in the league. We're the lowest rated team in the league, actually. I've lied to you this whole time. This was a ruse. This is not the Philadelphia Eagles rebuild. This is actually the Texans. This is actually the Texans with a reskin, and all the names are just lies. I changed their names and their devs and everything just to make it seem like they're actually who they are, but they're not. They're actually not. And the team is selling. The defense clutches up, and we win the game. I mean, I don't know. But we won, so let's be happy something went our way for once. Aaron Beasley, some random rookie, outplaying Hurts when you consider the fact that he didn't throw a pick. But then looking at the rushing numbers, we did have a couple more, rushing touchdowns or one more rushing touchdown than them. But in general, not a great performance. Defense did clutch up. No pass rush from one of the best fronts in the league. But we're in the divisional round, I suppose. Headed to the divisional round. The Bears, 12-5. The Eagles, 8-9. Let's go in. Let's do it. All right, going to the end of the game as Chicago drives down for 3 quickly, and then they drive down for 7. We drive down for literally nothing the entire start of this game. 7-10, 13-10 after we miss an extra point, 16-10 after the field goal, 19-10. The field goals are making up for that extra point a little bit. Another field goal, up by 9. A touchdown would probably do it at some point, but I mean, it's just nothing field goals. We finally get a touchdown, and Chicago goes down tumbling hard. We're in it, though, 8-9. I mean, we've had some crazy ones like this in the past. Joe Mixon's really not playing that well here in the playoffs. Jalen Carter with 4 sacks, though. At this point, I think the title is going to mention something about Madden 24. I think it's going to mention about, something about, if this is how Madden 24 is, I will lose all my freaking minds. I only have one, but I'm going to lose them all, whatever that means. I've already done it, clearly. Going in the championship round. Going up against the Panthers. Who do they beat? Because obviously the Panthers have had some pretty good success in the playoffs lately. They had to beat Dallas by 10. They were obviously a low overall team, but the Dallas Cowboys are still sim gods. They smoked. Wow, we are in for some trouble because they have put up some points in 2 games over 100 or very close to 100, which is absurd. We have struggled in all of our games. I mean, last game was a little bit better, but no dominance. We've had some defensive stops, but a field goal here or there. Here it is against the Panthers. Could this be the year we win it? 8-9. I think we've done something similar to that before. Not even that long ago, actually. But realistically, this is like the ultimate Smurf sleeper account in the world. If we do win it all, because I mean, this is a team that should not be 8-9 in general, and we actually have won back-to-back games here in pretty spectacular fashion. But here's the stats. Jalen Hurts with 6 freaking touchdowns, killing it. Young got smoked on. Mixon did pretty well. A.J. Brown was solid. Devontae was great. Defensively, any sacks? A little bit from Jordan Davis. Greg Newsome with 2 interceptions. Logan with a pick. And that was it. To the Super Bowl. All right, it is the Super Bowl. The Ravens, we already know who it is. Bird battle. 8-9. Not even close. Well, I wouldn't say not even close, the division winner, but not the division winner at 8-9. Made the playoffs as the 6th seed, which, I mean, all of that just sounds crazy, but it's factual. in it to potentially win a Super Bowl. I mean, like I said, I thought this was going to be a dynasty type look, and instead it's will we even win one? Devontae Smith obviously goes to superstar as expected, like 4,000 freaking touchdowns. And then defensively, Reddick goes up to superstar X Factor. So does Nakobe Dean. Reddick specifically, massive dev up. We see him a lot in fantasy drafts where he stays around quite a bit because 27 star. It's not preferable, but you get those dev ups with him. It's pretty impressive. It definitely can. It can definitely save him for sure. But let's take a look at this matchup. Baltimore Ravens 88 overall. Philadelphia Eagles 92. Let's see if we can do it. All right, going to the end of the game. Back and forth. Nothing burger so far. 7-0, 7-7. Still 7-7, 14-7. Not bad. 21-7 right before half with a massive touchdown. That is huge. Up by 11 still. Fourth quarter. It's anyone's game. Baltimore cuts it to 3. We drive down. We get nothing. And we win the Super Bowl last second. Just nothing. I mean, just a bunch of nothing. 21-18. That fourth quarter was so lackluster. Back and forth of just nothings. Thank the Lord. Oh, look, we can't even afford freaking jerseys anymore. I guess that's them. Out of shame, we just ripped off their fabric. But thank the Lord that this is done, because I don't know what's going on. I just want to get out of here. Like, this is a bizarre one. I don't know why the RNG was just way off. How the hell? And not because of money issues, were we in general under 500 in this rebuild by a lot. How? Did we actually go over 500 once? I don't even remember. I think we made the playoffs, right? We were like 11-6 or something. I don't even remember. That felt like ages ago. But we in general were a negative team. We went 5-12 twice. Like, what? But of course, Lamar Jackson now. I'm not on the board of Lamar Jackson can't throw. He's a running back, but man, if that happened, he would not be able to escape that. That would be inescapable. That would just be forever ingrained unless he actually won a Super Bowl. That would just be, you'd be done. You'd be cooked. But with that contract, that money, do you really care? I don't know. But yeah, this is a pretty lackluster performance outside of Jalen Hurts, who just can't stop, doing well in Super Bowls, it seems. Stout missed a field goal, which clearly didn't affect the game at all, right? But, yeah, I do want to see... Is it under team stats? They did score a touchdown in the second half. We scored nothing in the second half. Way to go, guys. Anything I touch is just a choke. Pause. Oh, my. That was some pain. I guess I'll take a look at the team that, it developed, I would imagine, but I don't know. I feel like something weird just happened. I can't even explain it. But this is what Jalen Hurts looks like. Throw power is a little lackluster. Speed is very good. Accuracies are very good. But throw power at 88 is a little lackluster. Can't lie. Joe Mixon, who really wasn't ours to develop. We just got him, and he was okay. Running game was just terrible in general, which, I mean, you would think with Mixon would have been insane, and it just wasn't. But here's A.J. Brown with 97 short, 91 medium. Deep route is pretty bad, but he's actually pretty athletic here. And then obviously route running in general, solid with the catching that is just absurd. But that is A.J. Brown, obviously. And we now move on to Devontae Smith, the super beast. And his ratings are as follows. Release is pretty bad, but everything else is amazing. And then let's take a look at Dallas Goedert, who is, kind of on the older side, probably regressing at this point, but 92 overall, very good at catching, solid route running, great run blocker, pretty damn good player. And then offensive line, I guess I'll take a look at Landon Dickerson, maybe Mailata, just because I feel like the Eagles and their fans probably take a lot of pride in the offensive line here. Obviously, lost a lot of them due to retirement pretty much, but about to lose Mailata on top of it. But we got a Super Bowl before that happened. Parrish, I mean, those guys are, youngsters, who cares? Nakobe Dean, the X Factor, believe it or not, from normal to X Factor in a pretty good hurry. Still pretty raw, but also still very young. And then once again, with that X Factor, very favorable contract. What was like a 6-year $40 or something, which is just I mean, that is busted, right? Like, that is how you build a damn roster. Devin Bush, good block shedding. Zone coverage is a little iffy, and he's obviously athletic. Let's take a look at Patrick Queen, who was basically non-existent in this one. He's just like, he did his part, nothing special, just got it on with it, and that's about it. What else do we have? We have more on the defense. I want to see Mr. Julian Love, who actually was developed pretty nicely. He went from superstar to X Factor. He's got really good zone coverage, and generally he's a high overall, and he's still young enough. Cisco we just got, but let's take a look at his ratings. 87 zones, so some really good zone safeties here, and defensive line obviously is going to be a great asset. They're going to look great, but Newsome, man coverage isn't great, but zone coverage is amazing. What else do we have? On the other side, Shepard, who developed okay, but he did start off as a superstar, and you would hope that he would have been a little bit better by now, but he's a decent overall. He's still pretty young, obviously. And then Logan, the 81 overall. Did he go up in dev because of those interceptions this season? He did. Rookie of the year as well, but cornerback looks great here. It's no longer like old and you're just hoping to hit it with that window, and now it's like you got all the time in the world. But Sweat needs to get a dev up very soon here because he's obviously aging out a little bit, 28 years old. That's Star. You're going to start regressing. You're not going to be able to progress, obviously. And then Reddick was very solid in this one for the most part. Obviously, we had some weird seasons where it was like nobody did well across the board. But obviously, very good finesse, very athletic, now an X Factor, which is awesome. And then we have the other D lineman. We'll take a look at Jordan Davis first because Jalen Carter's probably a little bit more interesting. But 25 years old, no power move, but pretty good block shedding. Still pretty raw, though, especially when you consider he starts off as a superstar rookie with, decent overall. And then Jalen Carter, obviously, we're going to take a look at him now. X Factor, just insane. Really good block shedder, obviously, over pass rush, but still in general good. But yeah, that's the Eagles team. I do not understand why it was such a struggle to get to where we were. I mean, we basically finished this rebuild as a bad team. I don't know how that's possible. We're 93 overall, won the Super Bowl, but we were 8-9, and we never really played that dominantly. I think I've said what I was about to say again for like the 4 billionth time. Enough. So I'm going to leave it there. If you guys enjoy this rebuild, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Is there something I'm doing that's wrong? Obviously, I don't even really care that much anymore because, we're about to be on to Madden 24. There's not that many rebuilds left, but I tried so many different things. The Chiefs playbook, the Cowboys playbook, the Bengals playbook, the Falcons playbook. I think I tried Green Bay for a little bit. Defensively, I moved around from Cleveland, KC, a bunch of the kind of big-name teams in real life that do well because I think that's kind of, Washington. And it's just nothing really seemed to work. We obviously won the Super Bowl, but the regular season was garbage 90% of the time. But we won the Super Bowl. That's the main goal. Year 4 Super Bowl win. Thought maybe we'd become a dynasty, but yeah, I've had my fair share of this realm. I don't like this. If you guys, have a team you'd like to see next for a rebuild, let me know in the comment section below. Jaguars would probably be the next team on my mind. And that is about it. Maybe there's a Miners episode tomorrow. Definitely would be one on Saturday, maybe 2, which is also my birthday, which, yay, one step closer to death. Getting older. Sweet. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya.